Hello everyone, welcome back to Nursing Education. Hope you all are fine. In this video, we will learn about burn, its causes, complications, classifications, and nursing management. So, let's start today's video. Firstly, what is burn? Burn is a form of traumatic injury caused by thermal, electrical, chemical, and radioactive agents. First, thermal burn. Thermal burns are skin injuries caused by excess heat, typically from contact with hot surfaces, hot liquids, steam, or flame, such as boiling water, steam, hot cooking oil, fire, and hot objects. Second, chemical burn. A chemical burn occurs when your skin comes into contact with an irritant such as strong acid, base, oxidizer, or organic compound. Third, electrical burn. Electrical burns and injuries happen when electrical currents pass through the body. The currents can damage the skin, tissues, and major organs such as electrical wiring, high voltage power lines, and electrical appliances, giving electrical shock. Fourth, radiation burn. This type of burn occurs due to exposure to ultraviolet rays of the sun or to other sources of radiation such as X-rays and radiation therapy to treat cancer. Next, complications of burn. This is divided into two types, infectious and non-infectious. Infectious complications are pneumonia, sepsis, fever, urinary infection, and bed sore. And non-infectious complications are hypovolemia, shock, pulmonary embolism, hypothermia, and functional limitations. Next, classification of burn. It is divided into two categories. First, partial thickness burn, and second, full thickness burn. First, partial thickness burn. First and second degree burn comes under in this category. First degree burn. First degree burns affect only the epidermis or outer layer of the skin. The burn side is red, painful, dry, and with no blisters. Next, second degree burn. Second degree burns affect deeper layer in the skin than first degree burns. They affect the epidermis and dermis, with the burn side often appearing swollen, blisters present along with erythema, and patient feel pain to touch. Erythema means redness of the skin. Second, full thickness burn. Third and fourth degree burn comes under this category. Third degree burn. Third degree burns destroy all the tissue of the epidermis and dermis, and they extend into the fatty tissue. These burns often destroy pain. Skin color may be white, black, and brown. Blood vessels are visible and area is insensitive. Next, fourth degree burn. Fourth degree burns involve all the layer of the skin, epidermis, dermis, subcutaneous tissue, muscles, and even bone may involved. There is no pain or no sensation as nerve endings are also burnt. Next, nursing management of burn. It is divided into three parts. Emergency care, which is divided further into two parts: pre-hospital care and hospital care. Second, care in acute phase, and third, care in rehabilitation phase. First, pre-hospital care. Remove the victim from source of fire. Assess CAB, circulation, airway and breathing. Give CPR if necessary. Use clean sheet to maintain body temperature and prevent infection. Remove jewelry if any, as due to occurrence of swelling. Transfer the victim to the hospital without delay. Second, hospital care. Give TT injection to the victim. Again, assess circulation, airway and breathing, and give CPR if needed. Auto inhalation and suction may required. Introduce nasogastric tube for gastric compression. Assess the total body surface area of burn and give IV fluids to the patient. Next, the most common formula for give IV fluids is Parkland formula as follow. First 24 hours, 4 ml of Ringer's lactate multiply weight in kg multiply percentage of total body surface area burnt. 1/2 amount of fluid is given in the first 8 hours and remaining half of the fluid is given next 16 hours. You can see the chart of rule of 9 to calculate the total body surface area burnt. Next, introduce urinary catheter to monitor the urinary output. Record vital signs. Lab studies required are burn, creatinine, serum electrolyte, HP level and blood gases. Patient should be put on monitor to assess continuous ECG. Next, administer IV narcotics, for example, morphine sulfate for management of pain. Maintain room temperature. Provide psychological support to the patient and their family to alleviate fear and anxiety. Give health education to the client's family regarding care of the patient. Next, care in acute phase. First, infection control. This includes aseptic precautions, for example, use of gown, gloves and mask while attending to the patient, keeping patient in separate room, maintenance of environment hygiene, person hygiene and restricting visitors and strict hand washing. Second, wound care. This includes dressing of wound, open and close method of dressing, sending swab for culture and susceptibility using antimicrobial agents. If wound does not heal properly, skin grafting and hysterectomy may be needed. Third, nutritional support. When IV fluids are discontinued, patient is keep on nasogastric feeds which include milk, egg flip juices or soups to meet adequate need of the patient. Give patient high protein, vitamin C, vitamin B complex and vitamin A rich diet because a well balanced diet will prevent loss of weight, control anemia, increase resistance power of the body. Fourth, hygiene. Regular maintenance of personal and oral hygiene, just as we follow basic hygiene every day by washing hands, brushing teeth, and showering. We should apply regular basic hygiene to wounds to keep them clean and remove biofilm. Biofilm means microorganisms. Fifth, monitor complications. Complications of deep or widespread burns can include bacterial infection, which may lead to a bloodstream infection called sepsis, fluid loss, including low blood volume called hypovolemia, and dangerously low body temperature called hypothermia. Send wound swab for culture and susceptibility, chest x-ray, urine examination to rule out septic focus and manage accordingly. And last, maintain elimination pattern. Give regular catheter care, keep bowel regular, treat diarrhea and constipation if occur. Next, care in rehabilitation phase. As soon as patient is able to move extremities, start range of motion exercise and breathing exercise to prevent hypostatic pneumonia and pulmonary complications. Next, health education. Relatives and family members should be educated to maintain nutrition, personal hygiene, elimination pattern, and wound care at home. Be prepared for surgery if needed. So guys, this is the last session of today's video. Hope you like this video. Thanks for watching. See you again in next video. Stay happy and healthy.